Smitty the Hubcap Guy. He was, I'm trying to think how long ago it was that I met Smitty. It's going back quite a ways. I mean, he, 70s, 80s, 89, 90s, probably in the 90s somewhere I met Smitty. He came around and he used to, he was selling hubcaps. And he started with a little car, and then he had some hubcaps in the back. Then he had a big green school bus. The bus was, that was hilarious. But, oh, and he had a big U-Haul truck at one time too. That was another thing he had. And he would sell the hubcaps. And then he came and after all of that, then he finally built Hubcap One, which he had built this. He had this big system. He put everything in books, and that was his claim that he was going to make it because he could find all the books. You know, he had every number for a hubcap on there. But so, anyways, over the years, I mean, he was a character. He would come here, and you know, it would just be like you look forward to him. You know what I mean? Because I had somebody to hang around with all day. You know, back then, you know, your business wasn't the best, so you know, when he'd come in, it was like the light of my day. You know, to have Smitty here, we'd chew the fat and stuff. But he was a character. The day he would always nod off out there. He'd be out there sitting in his car, and he'd be falling asleep on the side of the road because you know we weren't exactly knocking him dead with business. And so this one day he's in there and he's got his head almost in the steering wheel. He's just, you know, he fell asleep. It was in the sun, you know, and it was just comfortable. And some young girl comes up, and I had some customers here, and she kept looking, and I could see her while she was standing there. She's looking over at Smitty and looking over at Smitty, and all of a sudden she said to me, she had this weird look on her face, and she said, "Mister," she says, I think that man is dead over in the car." And I bent down, I looked over there, and I said, "Geez, honey," I said, "yeah, he died about 15, 20 minutes ago." I said, "But what can I get you for a hot dog?" Well, the look on her face, I said, "Nah, I'm only kidding you. He's sleeping." I said, "He falls asleep over there all the time." Well, it was the funniest thing in the world. I mean, when it happened, I was like, Jesus. But, oh, he was a character. We would have so much fun over here, and bright guy. I mean, you could talk to Smitty about anything. Yeah, oh yeah, he was a cultured guy. I mean, and then, you know, like I say, over the years after I had spoken to Smitty, when he told me about, he trained to be a professional opera singer, and he was, you know, formally trained to sing opera, and he always regretted. He said that years ago he had an opportunity to an audition at the Metropolitan Opera, and the night before he went out and partied and having a good time, and he showed up for the interview, and his voice was cracking, and he just blew the whole thing, and he always had that regret that he said one of the biggest mistakes in his life. You know, he said, I could have gone farther. I could have done, who knows where I could have gone. But bright guy, but he was a hustler. He always doing something, and you know, raising. You know, he was selling something or doing something. He had a place down in the East Village for a lot of years, and he was just a character. Yeah, Smitty the Hubcap Guy.